I find it really, it's kind of annoying to have to watch commercials before I can start the stream I'm streaming on as a viewer. So, I don't know if anybody's going to be out there. Obviously, I'm super late. My video card on my computer died just right before the stream was supposed to go on. So I installed a new one and updated the drivers, and then OBS didn't like the settings, and so here I am, just to make sure that it really works, and so I can make the claim that I streamed a little bit. Sorry for that, folks, if anybody's actually out there. You know how it is. Life can be challenging and difficult. It's been kind of a crazy, rough week for me, to be honest with you. But I won't get into my personal stuff. It's neither here nor there. Yeah. So John made a post, said that we won't be on, and we're not really on. We're just sort of testing the stuff to make sure it's really working. The fix. I am excited to see that Will, one of our peoples, I won't say his last name, got his badger and got started working on it. I am going to put together my airbrush so that I can work on stuff at some point in time. I did do a little bit of work on this guy. Let's see, is this actually working? Yeah. There we go. Seems to be working. Let's get the focus back a little bit. I'm lost. Oh my gosh. Not sure my settings are appropriate. Get this light down here a little closer. I should really not be watching this the way I'm watching this. Let me go back to this thing. Yeah. So many little things to adjust. Where are you? Interesting. Hey, Tiger Wraith. Seems like you're always full of question marks, Mr. Wraith. What's going on? Ilmarin, hello. So yeah, we had like a nuclear meltdown here, hardware-wise. I restarted the computer right before I was supposed to stream, and it wouldn't come back up, like the video card ceased to exist or something. Anyway, so I installed a new video card and updated the drivers, and and then OBS, Stream OBS, I had to change things because this was a different thingy, different, source. I had to change the output settings, which it doesn't tell you that you have to do that or how to do it or even give you any clue as to that's the thing that's wrong. So here we are. Anyway, yeah, so I mean, just life, just the usual stuff. And then the little software I use to run my camera as a webcam, blah, it's just a pain in the butt. Anyway, that's not that big a deal. I had a video card laying around that I could throw into this computer. It was very annoying that it decided to give up the ghost at that minute. I feel like this is, did I change where are you? There you are. Yes, I did. I changed that quite a bit. So let's change this. So obviously this isn't going to be like anything of a real stream. It's just going to be a thing. Drop that down to there. See if that looks any better. See if I can get any crispness here. And I never like the way the images look on thing. Yeah, nothing breaks. Yeah, Tiger Wraith. Fortunately, like I said, I had one laying around that I had pulled out of a different machine that it took me, you know how life is. It's like, where to put that video card, and oh my gosh, how do I install it? Where's the power connector? Which one does this plug into? Oh my God, I got to create an NVIDIA account so I can download drivers. It's just been one of those days. Plus, issues with my family and taking care of sick folks and stuff like that. So, while I've got you guys here, so this red is this brilliant red from Reaper. And I really love it, but it's very flat. It's not very bright. I painted that up over this mahogany right here. And so I would really like the highlights of this rock model to come up a little bit brighter. So I'll ask for your opinions. I'm not going to stay on very long, but I will ask for your opinions here while I've got your attention. And I really appreciate you dropping by. I super do. Tiger Wraith, you and Ilmarin are super duper faithful, and I appreciate it. Anyway, I want to get these rock highlights just a little bit brighter, and I don't know if I should just go searching for a brighter red, so here's my thought process, right? So here's the ore, right? So my thought is I take the airbrush and I come in where I want the brighter red, and I put a little white in my airbrush, and I come in and I just kind of paint like a highlight with the airbrush, right? So that the underlayer for this highlight that I'm going to do is much brighter. And so I'm literally just going to kind of come in and paint like this part right here, and maybe like a little, like the bottom part of these things, the top edge of this, some here, and then I come back with this red, or possibly a brighter one if I can find it. And Tiger Wraith, I've not actually looked at the new rock red, but maybe just depends on what it looks like. And so then the idea is, because this will have like a bright white. I don't have a white handy, but yeah, it'll have something white underneath it. It will be brighter, even though it's really the same color. It'll look brighter, even though it's really the same color. And so that's kind of the way I'm leaning, instead of trying to just find another red. But then again, it is possible to find brighter reds. Hold on a second. I think it's possible. I don't know. I have trouble judging reds. That looks a little brighter to me, but they're very similar. I don't know. I think the right thing to do is to probably paint the white. See, Tiger Wraith, here's the deal. I don't want an orange model. And yeah, so an orangey red is one good way to highlight reds, if you don't mind showing up as orange. But I wanted to just read as red. I'm going to go with black, right, for my missile pods. And so I really want, I guess this one must go over here. I really want I want it to be simple and highly contrasty, and hopefully the black and the red will really pop. So I think I'm going to try it. It's kind of a test of my skill as an airbrusher to see if I can come in and spray white in such a small area and without speckling to make these highlights worthwhile. Which is another way of saying doing something terrible. Hey, Chandler, my goodness. Sienna Scarlet Red. Okay, so I don't have that at hand, obviously, Chandler. Is that pretty bright? I'll go look it up on the internet later, but with monitors, you don't really know what you're looking at until you get your hands on it. But that's a pretty bright red. Okay, I'll order some of that. I'll see if Talon has it, and if they don't, I will get some from Reaper. Pretty sure I don't have that one. I don't recognize that name. So yeah, I guess before I try the white airbrush trick, I'll give that a shot. But I think I could probably pull it off. I think I could probably do it. Or I'll mess it up and paint it all black again, or whatever color it was to begin with. From the Pathfinder set. Okay, yeah, Chandler, I really appreciate that advice. But yeah, that's where I'm going. Like I said, black and red. Some nice highlights on these beautiful canopies. And then, I've been thinking, I've really been thinking, I so love this base chassis. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make up some variants in the construction program that are based on this Reaper chassis, and just do some Tiger Wraith kit bashing and put some different weapons on them. I mean, they're basically perfect for mounting, like left and right weapons. Because I mean, my rock don't have to be a tournament force, right? I can just paint them up for fun for some sort of non-standard unit, a 4C thing to go with my Badger when I get it. I don't know if anybody saw, but right before I came on, Mr. Semler posted pictures of him beginning the construction of his Badger. So that was pretty cool. I'm excited to see what people do with those. I think I may have said that once or twice, but I am very, very excited to see what happens with those guys. I guess while I'm here, I'll put this dumb thing together. Just get ready for some painting, hopefully this weekend, or later this week, maybe. Thanks, Tiger Wraith. I see that link you threw out there for me. I saw that. Yeah, so somebody posted in Discord. They were I don't recall the user's name, but there was a person who was. It might have been him. I don't actually know that guy is some Mr. Cthulhu's Brothers Discord handle. So it could have been him that posted that he was the first one. So I guess that gives him, printing number one or whatever it is we decide to call that. But yeah, that's pretty exciting. Good Lord. See if I can remember how to do this. Yeah. I don't know. It's been one of those days. You've all had them. You know what they're like. Everybody needs something. And at the last minute, you need something. Yeah. So, but again, I don't know if that's Mr. Semler or if it's somebody else. I don't recognize that username. He doesn't post nearly as much as Cthulhu does. Or if he does, maybe I've just overlooked it. I saw where John streamed some of his assembly over the weekend. I don't know if did he finish that? Did anybody notice? I wasn't able to watch very much of the stream. How far did John get with the assembly of that Badger he was doing on Twitch Sunday? So he did finish it, Ilmarin? Boy, he must have been on there a long time. I kind of gathered he had from what he said, but yeah, wow. That's a long Sunday afternoon, but it's a fun one, playing with all that MDF. Plug this up. Sione Red. Yeah, that's working. So this is where I should have been about an hour ago. Hey, look, I got the airbrush hooked up. So he streamed until 9:30? Is that what you're saying, Ilmarin? He all the way till 9:30 at night? Wow, that's crazy. Because I know he started like mid-afternoon, but he did say it. I think he said the last time he put one together it took him about 8 hours. Oh, so he took a break? Okay, good. Everybody's got to pace themselves. Fortunately, it'll be all out there. Humana. I mean, the only other thing I really have to share, some of you may be part of it. Some of you may have noticed, I've created a little section in the Discord for the volunteers who are helping me mow the RPG grass. So really what we're doing is we're going through previous streams, all the way through the back catalog on YouTube, and we're annotating fluff information that John has said over the course of time, and we're documenting it in a Google Sheet so that we can have that as a baseline for the beginning of the Cav RPG stuff. Obviously, we're going to need John to go in and help us, when it comes time to actually start to write things. But, I figured in the meantime, while he's busy, making orders and getting dual cast going and, doing the badgers and all that other stuff, we could at least canvas the material that we already have. And so we've got a good start on it. There's a couple of 2 or 3 active people that volunteered. And once we get that document sorted out, we'll pass it by John and make sure he's okay and there was no misquotes or misunderstandings there, and then we'll post it up hopefully where people can see it. I will share though, just Ilmarin, I started to try and just do it on my own, because it's the sort of thing that I would do. And then I thought to myself, I've got all these people that are so super passionate about the about the Cav RPG, and I don't really have anything for them to do, and they all want to go 100 miles an hour, and their ideas are fantastic, and it's an excess of help, right? It's like, it's like when organizations get more stuff donated to them than they can manage. I don't have anything for these active people to do, and so it occurred to me that maybe I could reach out to them, and they would be able to help me do this documentation. And so it's going well so far. It's going to take a while. There's many hours of that stuff to watch through, and most of it is kind of dull and not related to the the Cav RPG stuff. But there's some tidbits in there, especially in some of the later ones, and it's kind of my goal. Sorry, John, if you're listening or if you happen to hear this, but it's my goal going forward. It's my goal going forward to every Wednesday to get John to talk about as much Cav RPG stuff as I can. And when I say that, I mean like background stuff. I'm going to ask him technical questions, like, how long does it take to fly across known space? How big a deal is this? If I tried to ask him last Wednesday if Almirithil blew up and there was an A-E ship sitting there ready to fire off its message torpedo with that information immediately, how long would it be before Adon found out that Almirithil had blown up? Just those kinds of things. So, so we can get him to talking and thinking and sharing, and at some point in time he'll probably get annoyed with me, but in the past we've kind of struggled to have ideas for shows, right? I'll ask him, what are we talking about tonight, John? And he's like, I don't know, we're just going to wing it. That's my impression of John. I'm not big enough to make an actual sound like John. He's much deeper voice than I am. But yeah, so that's kind of my goal. So definitely, if you're interested in that sort of thing, come and help me on Wednesday nights. Kind of like, there's a phrase I heard on a podcast called gassing someone up. And it's a positive thing. It's basically pumping them up, making them feel good, encouraging them, telling them things are awesome, that sort of stuff. And so come help me gas John up on Wednesday so we can get him to share some lore. Thank you for the word, Ilmarin. That's absolutely the right word. Help share some lore. Now, that being said, in the little bit of the couple of episodes that I've been able to go back through and watch, these are some of the very earliest ones that John has uploaded. John talks a little bit about the fact that we are, as a Cav community, as a Cav story, we are headed towards the first galactic war. Which I think is probably a thing that happened in the past, but John's going to do, like in the other versions of Cav, that this was a historical event, I think. But John's going to play us through it. He's going to let us set the terms of how that plays out. And he said twice now in 2 separate streams that the Adenese are not going to like how this gets started. Not sure that's a 100% accurate quote, but that's effectively what he said, I think. It's a paraphrase. And so it sounds like things go really bad for the Adenese at the very beginning. Something is going to happen that is going to make them really unhappy. And so I don't know about you, but when I think about people that make the Adenese unhappy, I can't help but think of the Almirithil. I'm not sure why. They just pop into my head mysteriously. So I'm real curious to see if he's let anything else slip about what that might be. Yeah, seriously, Ilmarin, it's really hard to ship chia pets when the pirates and the Almirithil and the Rock are all messing up your logistics lanes. I mean, when the Adenese Prime guy, who's trying to drive down your street and deliver your galactic G-Jaw, whatever that might be, is getting blasted with Mach 40s from spaceships, it's definitely bad for business. But anyway, I'm just curious to see what's going on with that. There are the Hobby Habit has done a lot of stuff with some later episodes. There's quite a bit of material out there. I'm real curious to see how much John has let slip, and because it's come in that sort of boiling frog manner, we've not really noticed. I don't know about you, but I kind of have a bad memory for that sort of stuff. It's difficult for me to put 3 and 3 together when they were 6 months apart. And so what I'm trying to say is, there's an old adage, about, and I don't think it's actually true, but there's an old adage that, if you try and put a frog in a pot of boiling water, it'll jump out. But if you put the frog in a pot and slowly boil the water, he won't notice until it's too late. And so I wonder if John is doing that to us, because he may have told us all kinds of cool things if you put together the notes and the ideas across these 50 plus. Heck, just Cav HQ I think has got 50 plus streams now. So anyway, long story short, there's this big sort of archivist activity going on where we're trying to figure out if John has given us anything to work with. Well, Ilmarin, Hot Wars are pretty fun for tabletop miniature players, but outside of that, you're probably right. Nobody really wants to be involved in those things. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to check out the Sione Red that Chandler mentioned. Thank you very much, Chandler. I really appreciate your input. You are a wealth of knowledge when it comes to Reaper products, for sure. Tiger Wraith, as always, your support is fantastic. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to watching your mod stream one day. And by the way, if anybody has any suggestions for, yes, Chandler Scott, name something you don't have in volume, like stored in sheds or shipping containers, things like that. I'm surprised that, honestly, I think that ship that got stuck in the canal, that was your stuff, wasn't it? Wasn't that your Bones 5 order, I think? Yeah, he could be. Although I think he may be a Time Lord and a dragon. So, there may be a way around that. I'm not sure exactly how he does what he does. Yeah, absolutely, Chandler. Oh, good grief. Yeah. So, I'm going to check out the Sione Red. I'm looking forward to Tiger. Oh, yeah, lost my train of thought there when Chandler started cutting up with me. If anybody has any ideas for write-ups of an alternative model to go on this Reaper chassis, some things that would look good, just in general terms, maybe duelist arms or something along those lines, feel free to hit me up on Discord or give me some ideas. Write up a unit if you want. I would really appreciate it. I'd be really curious to see what people come up with. Cheetah dishes for arms. Well, I hate the con, right? So I need an ECM model. And since I'm just making stuff up, right, I can make my own ECM model. So that's not a terrible idea. Why not just make a dedicated ECM model, I guess? Yeah. So Chandler, that's kind of the idea I had, was basically doing some after the fact Zenithal priming. So I know you missed the stream where I started that. So a lot of the times that's what I do is I do this kind of Zenithal priming stuff, right? Most of the time that's how I start calves. But what I decided to do this time was do a different kind of workup. I've seen some other artists. Hello, or do we still have a? I feel like maybe the thing is it still streaming? I'm not sure. Looks like Twitch may have stopped. Can you guys still hear me? Is there anything going on? Still working on my end. Ah, there it comes. Okay, so yeah, Chandler, you're right. Zenithal is if I thought about it and I realized I really wanted to go bright, I should have Zenithaled. But I wanted to try a different method. I've seen other airbrushers do this sort of stuff, right? It's a strange smell. Where they start out with just kind of like a dark reddish color and then they airbrush it up, and you can kind of see where I'm going here. I just wanted to go a little brighter. So now, man, there's a strange smell. I think my wife must be cooking. Kind of what I want to do is I want to do some some like way too late zenithal priming. So I want to bring the airbrush in and just paint a little sort of translucent-y white, just a light white highlight here. All the places I want the really brighter reds, and then come back in after that's dry and just glaze with the airbrush, just filter sort of some red over the top of it to see if that'll bring the highlights up. And if not, I'll just let it be. I mean, these are fun models. I'm not trying to win any contests. I mean, I don't think they look bad. I think once I get the black and the trim and the highlight and the cockpits going, these guys will look pretty good. I just would like to have a little brighter red for my highlights. So I think I'm going to try the selective zenithal for it. All right. What else is there that we might need to talk about real quick? I just want to remind you, I am out of my own pocket. I'm going to buy whoever posts the picture of the first assembled Badger dropship something from Talon Games, I'm sure. And I'm going to do it again for the first fully painted one. And I'm going to get to judge what I think is fully painted. So, it's my money. I get to spend it how I want. So you guys that get your Badgers, there's a little bit more to be had. Maybe you can win some, I don't know, some models to go inside it. That's probably the right thing to put in there. All right, guys. I really appreciate you coming and hanging out, especially, on such short notice and with the stream being late. And John, I told John I didn't think I was going to be able to do it because I couldn't get the computer to come up. And then I was able to pull it together at the last end. That's not a terrible idea. I'm going to have to order a cheetah just so I can get its dish. Man. APA-1 and the anti-aircraft like the cheetah. I'm going to sit down and tinker with it and see what I can come up with. I think they're going to be a lot of fun. And I think there's something to be said about the uniformity of, having all the same chassis too. I think that might look good. Ilmarine, you're just full of ideas. I love it. All right. I'm going to sign off now. I really appreciate you guys dropping in and hanging out with me. It means a ton to me. Again, apologies. Just life happens. Snafu. Nothing I could do about it. But I did manage to recover. So half a check mark for me. You guys take care. I will see you. I'll probably be in John's chat tomorrow night. Just hanging out and doing some painting. And then definitely online Wednesday with... Wednesday with John, and then sometime in May, there must be a Big Stompy podcast coming up. But anyway, yeah, Ilmarine, life finds a way. Doesn't it, though? It always does. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Have a good night. You know what I like to say. Be kind to one another. Be kind to somebody you don't know. Just be kind. It's the best way to live your life, I think. Tschüss.